Hello and welcome. I'm Sanjay Pinto. It's the first ever visit to Chennai by a US Secretary of State. Now, you've heard that line several times in the last few days in the run-up to this event. But beyond the politically correct statements, beyond that strong dose of culture at Kalakshetra, beyond the Vanakkam, or beyond the running up the stairs at the Secretariat, just what are the key takeaways from Hillary Clinton's visit to Chennai? A press statement from the Chief Minister's office indicates that what transpired off camera, that is that meeting between Ms. Jayalalitha and Ms. Hillary Clinton, was of much greater significance than what took place on camera perhaps. There was a wish list and there were promises. Now, on the big question tonight, we are asking you, are visits by foreign dignitaries to our cities more about hype or substance? Joining us live tonight from our studio is Dr. Bernard D. Sami, eminent professor of history from Loyola College and somebody who many believe is a walking encyclopedia when it comes to American history. Also joining us is Amerikai V. Narayanan, former headquarters secretary of the Congress Party. But before we head into that discussion, Evelyn Matthew will give you all the headlines. Evelyn?
Thanks very much, Sanjay. Let's take you through the headlines we're tracking at this hour. The visiting US Secretary of State Hillary Clinton charms Chennaiites with her warm Vanakkam and lauds Tamil Nadu for being an educated and industrialized state.
I'm delighted to be here today.
Ms. Clinton sits with Chief Minister Jayalalitha for almost an hour at Fort St. George. Investments and Sri Lankan war crimes are discussed. In comes a dash of nostalgia to this high-profile visit. Hillary cheers special folk performances at the Kalakshetra Foundation. Taking a cue from M. Karunanidhi, DMK's General Secretary challenges the Commission's inquiry into the new Secretariat construction. The state government tells the Madras High Court that IPL will now be brought under the Tamil Nadu Entertainment Tax Act. Let's also take you through some of the rest of the day's stories nationally. Hillary Clinton says she admires India's progress. Our bonds are stronger than our differences. After the Murdoch grilling, Britain's Prime Minister David Cameron defends his record in Britain's phone hacking scandal. Suhail Hindustani becomes the second person to be arrested in the cash for vote scam. He was allegedly the middleman in the saga. All faiths that have not originated in India are Western and their followers outsiders, says BJP leader Dhananjay Kumar. The city of Chennai had a high-profile visitor today. Well, it was none other than the US Secretary of State, Ms. Hillary Rodham Clinton, in what was a power meeting between two strong personalities. The Chief Minister, Ms. Jayalalitha, sat down with Ms. Clinton for an entire hour of conversation discussing trade, politics, social and economic issues. But the highlight was the war crimes against Sri Lankan ethnic Tamils that got an instant reassuring reply. Hillary Clinton today voiced concern over the plight of the internally displaced persons in Sri Lanka and said that her country was looking at some innovative and creative ideas to break the impasse over the Sri Lankan Tamils issue. In her wish list, Jayalalitha also expressed concern over the reduction of the H-1B visas, even though in terms of numbers of visas issued, the Chennai US consulate was the second largest. During the exchange of pleasantries, Ms. Jayalalitha was also congratulated on her impressive electoral victory and complimented the state that it was, in fact, it had a great potential for US investments. In response, Amma quipped that Tamil Nadu was aspiring to become a global hub in automotive industries and that there was much opportunity for the same. But what stole the show today was the true blue Tamil greeting and sign-off by the top diplomat. Vanakkam was how the visiting US Secretary of State charmed her way with Chennaiites at her first public address in the city at the Anna Centenary Library. Well, the response was an overwhelming roar of approval from her audience. The top diplomat today paid tribute to India, its democracy and its pluralism.
And as a Secretary of State in the Obama administration, but this is the first opportunity to come to this extraordinary coastal city here in the South, and one that means so much to so many in my own country and elsewhere, and to be in Tamil Nadu, who is a state that is one of the most industrialized, globalized, and educated in all of India. We have new initiatives linking students and businesses and communities, and one of my personal favorites is the Passport to India, a program designed to bring more American students to study in India to match the great numbers of Indian students that come to America to study. And President Obama recognized this when he said that the United States looks forward to a reformed United Nations Security Council that includes India as a permanent member. There is no better place to discuss India's leadership in the region to its east than here in Chennai. In this port city, looking out at the Bay of Bengal and beyond to the nations of East and Southeast Asia, we are easily reminded of India's historic role in the wider region. Here in Chennai, we can see how much a society can achieve when all citizens fully are participating in the political and economic life of their country. Every citizen of Sri Lanka deserves the same hope and opportunity for a better future. And so when we look at what will happen in Afghanistan, the United States will not abandon our values or support a political process that undoes the progress that has been made in the past decade. Reconciliation, achieving it and maintaining it, will depend on the participation of all of Afghanistan's neighbors, including both Pakistan and India.
I would like to believe that she would have a certain agenda to follow, and I'm sure if she's addressing us, there must be a reason to that. Of course, something that I don't understand. I'm not a politician.
Yeah, that she wants the youth to be involved in it, and she wants our support very badly so that she can get into all the deals and she can, make all the nations united to work for a global peace.
She mostly stressed her points on Afghanistan, and she was promising that they'll combat their troops by 2014. But we expected a different kind of speech. We thought it will be more to youth oriented, but it was totally about all agreements and pacts. So we are a bit disappointed.
And to work for a world that is worthy of our dreams. So let us commit to do so. Thank you all very much.
With hundreds of students and invitees expecting Ms. Clinton to talk a lot more about the Sri Lankan issue, her continued focus on Afghanistan probably left a huge chunk of them disappointed. But her continuous praises on Chennai and this very auditorium definitely left the crowd charmed. In Chennai, Pratiksha Ramkumar for NDTV Hindu.
Well, taking off from that big visit in the city today, it's over to Sanjay Pinto now for the big question this Wednesday night.
Thank you, Evelyn. As we said earlier, we've got experts in our studio. Dr. Bernard D. Sami, renowned professor of American history from Loyola College. Amerikai V. Narayanan, a true blue Congress person who in fact returned to the US, and of course you want to explain the title Amerikai V. Narayanan?
Well, a lot of people think just because I came from US of A, they called me as America Narayan because I was there for about 13 years. But Amerikai in Tamil, a lot of people don't know, means humble. So I want to be Amerikai Narayanan, not a USA return Narayan.
You can be humble as a politician?
Yeah, I think I learned it from Muppanar and Kamaraj.
I thought you were going to say learn it from journalists, but Dr. Bernard D. Sami, sir, to you first. You heard those students there. Now, how many students did you all send from Loyola College to fill up the chairs at the library?
Around 100.
100. Are you disappointed, sir? I mean, when you're talking here about whether it's hype or substance, that there was no interaction with the opinion makers who were called to that hall. A seating capacity of 1,000 people, intellectuals, you had actors, you had Kamal Hassan, Gautami, you had students there, B school students. There was no interaction at all there. Where there needed to be interaction, perhaps, is what critics say, there was no interaction. But at Kalakshetra, where many say the Secretary of State could have actually sort of enjoyed the moment there, but she actually posed for photographs, interacted with all the artists there, soaked in the culture there. So what, according to you, was more important? Was this more hype, more photo op than substance?
I think, Sanjay, for all that happened yesterday in New Delhi, because this is a continuation of the strategic dialogue that both the countries initiated last year. And I think we have come a long way in our relationship since 1971 when India was the fighting the war with Pakistan and liberating Bangladesh. The 7th fleet was in Indian Ocean, 1971.
We're still fighting terrorism.
Yeah, but today one can see the relationship has totally it has really strengthened, and particularly with the strategic relationship for the last 7-8 years from Clinton onwards. And this visit is her second visit to India to strengthen the strategic dialogue. And in the strategic dialogue, if you look, there are so many areas in which both the countries are cooperating.
All right, I want to that's an interesting point made by the professor here, Dr. Banardi Sami. Mr. Narayanan, big ticket announcements really. It emerged from the press release of the Chief Minister, who said that she's spoken about solar energy, she's spoken about employment opportunities. I have that press release with me right here. She's spoken about jobs, she's spoken about Tamil Nadu being a global automotive hub. So, state to state partnership between Tamil Nadu and various states of America is something that was broached, promises made, substance?
Well, this tip looks from outside lacks in substance and more in style. The fact that Hillary Clinton, who is not just a bureaucrat who has come up to this position, but she is a politician. As a matter of fact, from a congressman to ex-senator, I welcome her to our city of Chennai. Looking at it from a parochial Tamil Nadu viewpoint, I think it has put us on the world map firmly. And US flag always follows economics. India is emerging. We used whenever we talk about US of A.
President said emerged. We have emerged. We're not emerging.
Whenever we used to talk about USA and India, they used to say the largest democracy and the strongest democracy. Now, the fastest growing democracy in the world is meeting the strongest democracy. We are meeting them with confidence than we ever had before. So, we are on an equal partner. We used to try and be an equal partner, but we are equal partner. We have as much to give to them as we have to take from them.
At the end of the day, it boils down to economics, that the Americans see business opportunities here, even in Tamil Nadu, which is why they spent the kind of time they did, 1 hour with the Chief Minister there, because there's something you can get from us.
Absolutely.
You're right, Sanjay, I fully agree with you. It is business, but also I think this time what Tamil Nadu has been telling the center and the international community so long in terms of Sri Lanka and war crimes, and then taking this issue to the International Criminal Court, and then framing the charges on crimes against humanity against the president of Sri Lanka.
But do you think they have done enough, sir, apart from issuing these platitudes, apart from making statements, yes, strong statements, sometimes even agreeing with the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister? Of course, there were resolutions passed in the Tamil Nadu Assembly for sanctions against Sri Lanka for what they did. America has really not come out openly against these things, as they have not even against Pakistan.
You're right, but at the same time, Sanjay, I think the momentum is now is building up, and I think we need the support of the international community. We need the support of countries which are respecting human rights, and they have openly supported that. They will definitely support India's candidature to Security Council as a permanent member of the Security Council. All this will definitely help India to move forward.
So she's basically taking off from where President Obama left. I mean, and
You're
of course
right.
is batting for India and also backing our claim for that permanent seat. Also, sir, H1B visas. This is a very interesting point that the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister has picked up here. 65,000. I mean, I know that in all US consulates and embassies, you have a board which says issuance of a visa is only a privilege and not a right. Now, 65,000 visas. The Chief Minister says yes, we may be the second highest in terms of getting visas out of Chennai here, but we also have the highest rejection rate. So she's asked for something like 195,000 visas. This is something that, of course, there's no commitment so far. This should be non-committal on this.
True, because she also mentioned today in her talk in Nana Centenary Auditorium,
which you were present at that
I
meeting.
was present and I was listening to the entire speech.
You personally felt disappointed, sir, that she didn't interact? You would have liked to share some of your
I
views.
thought that this lecture she she should have delivered in Delhi, not in Chennai.
Okay.
This is not for the Chennai
I
audience.
Interrupt there for
Yes.
a second. When the US, it has been a custom in the US to deliver foreign relation speeches in major universities. I think she has picked that up and delivered her foreign relations speech in, and I think the stature of University of Madras goes up when you are addressing the national or international issues.
This was at the Anna Centenary Library.
Yeah. Now, the second thing I do when I want to bring to the notice of our audience is,
your ally, the DMK must be quite happy. It's the library that they built, so she's gone there.
Well, maybe you can say that. But coming to the substance, then the style that you're trying to do.
The style of running up the stairs,
right,
instead of taking the elevator,
yeah,
and the Vanakkam, of course,
is the common thing. And I know
you must give it to her that the body language was extremely gracious, very positive. There was warmth there. Even the way she was posing with the artists at Kalakshetra, there was, for a US Secretary of State, many would say she was extremely gracious, extremely cordial. Even her interaction with the Chief Minister, we are told, going by the press release from the CM's office, that it was extremely productive, warm, cordial.
Please understand that she is a presidential candidate. She was one tick away at that time. She could have been the first woman president of the United States. But if you see, it's the Republicans who really make a major headway in foreign relations. It's the Democrats, as much as we all think Democrats are for India. It's the Republican President Nixon who opened up China. It's the Republican President Bush which made a special exception to India, which has never been done in the history of the United States on the nuclear deal. The Democrats are just follow up, and now they have to work out the nuts and bolts of the thing.
All right, sorry I interrupted you, sir. We digressed a bit. We're talking about visas there, because at one hand, yes, you have this problem of illegal immigrants there. You have the US Department of Homeland Security with the statistics which were released every year. There are those who are potential immigrants there, and of course, a lot of reason for disappointment is because visas are rejected, because they see people from India as potential immigrants. But there's really a strong case that's been made out for increasing H-1B visas. America doesn't seem to be too keen to do that.
This is what I wanted to tell you, that in her...
After a long time, they built a shelter now for the poor visa seekers outside the consulate.
And the second largest, visa issuing place is Chennai. She was telling that, the country's development is such that people are coming back to India. Right. So it is the return migration which is taking place. I think this is not happening in the case of Bangladesh. This is not taking place in the case of China and Bangladesh, Pakistan. So she was telling, that creating conditions that has helped India to grow as an economic power should also prevail in other countries. This is where you will have, equal opportunities for everyone. I think we have to look at from that perspective. Then only we will be able to understand, the H-1B visas, and then the number is coming down.
Do you believe there is a strong case for increasing the quota, sir?
True. There is a strong case. There is a strong case,
There are two things. You need to look at the visa is not decided like that. They also have a domestic audience. It's a democracy, and the pressure from there, where some of them may think that we are taking away their jobs. So that's something that
Buffalo to Bangalore statement of Obama.
Bangalore, right, exactly. The second thing is, if you really see the people who are going, including the IITians or IIM people, now no longer the entire class goes there. It's only 50% or 40% is going there. I don't think sending out people, even though to USA is good, but it's not the panacea. I think we need to keep the talents here, and there's a lot of opportunity here, and this is the best place to be in the world. I believe there's a significant opportunity in India. She has recognized it. That's why she has they're making more visits to India.
So not just to soak in the culture here of Kalakshetra, there was also talk that she would go to Mahabalipuram. At least some of members of her team said they would probably try to sneak away and go to Mahabalipuram. So again, to ask you some, go down to brass tacks of international relations, the cold start doctrine that was propounded, which was that limited strike within 72 hours. Also, there are reasons to believe that the US has been particularly interested in India's military strategy. Why, sir? Is it because they are batting for Pakistan at one level?
Sanjay, this is in the changed international climate and situation now. Pakistan was their partner, and then now they see, Pakistan is not doing enough, and they need India's help. And Afghanistan, they are going to get out of Afghanistan in 2014. and they want also a strong. This is where she has initiated in the strategic dialogue with West Asia and dialogue with the Central Asian republics, where India, US and these countries are going to cooperate together, collaborate and cooperate together. And then this is the ancient Silk route. This is what she wants to revive now as a trade route for India, for South Asia and for Central Asia. If South Asia and Central Asia is going to emerge as an economic power, as a market, then to a greater extent you can address the issue of terrorism. So this is how we know this is an economic response to a defense question, or whatever you may call it, terrorism or whatever it may be.
No, you buy that? No, that's a very plausible explanation.
That's true, but also I think I have a political perspective. They say in politics there are no permanent enemies, permanent
and there's no such thing as free lunch
friends.
either.
There's only a permanent interest. So is in the relationship of the countries. There's no permanent enemies or permanent friends, but only permanent interest. The India's interest and the US interest converges in long term. Both the nations have to be concerned about, I think whenever we talk about India in the foreign relations, they used to talk about Pakistan. I think that's not something we need to be concerned about. India has to be equated with China today, and it is in the interest of the US and in India to handle China in a proper way. China is building a pearl around India. So it's appropriate that India recognizes that, and it is also in the US interest. So our strategic interest converges, and that's also the reason why US is showing more interest towards India.
Okay, interesting point there, but again at one level Dr. Sami was telling us also this partnership between educational institutions in America and in Chennai, that also should bring probably, I mean the students were disappointed there because she didn't interact, but then there's something much more probably waiting in store for them.
Yeah, I think there should have been more local content, but then I think the relationship between the nations are not on local content alone. She could have addressed, but I think she has been more statesman-like as opposed to coming to the state. If a gubernatorial person has come to Tamil Nadu, I think it would have been much more colloquial, much more state-oriented.
Right, talking of the local flavor, and when the city of Chennai witnessed beauty and discipline, when the lights, camera and action all came together as the visiting US Secretary of State, Ms. Hillary Clinton, stood enthralled there. She was treated to that rich art renditions of Mohiniyattam, Kathakali and the local flavor of Bharatanatyam. You can see pictures of her on your screen interacting with those artists, also having a taste of Indian culture there, and she was flanked by Preeta Reddy of Apollo Hospitals also, in fact the director of Kalakshetra and the chairperson now of the censor board, Ms. Leela Sampson. Ms. Sampson, the American, in fact the top diplomat, also looked at awe and took some time for a special photo op with the talented young bunch. He also spoke and said that she could see she's seen it from a distance. For the first time she's seeing it up close and personal. She could see every muscle virtually move, and the effort there, she said it was spectacular there. Those are visuals coming from Kalakshetra. Also, let's also give you another to feel the pulse of some of the B school students. Sam Daniel, my colleague, visited the library there. He was also part of that address. He was part of the audience there, and Sam Daniel spoke to some students. Some of them were quite thrilled, some disappointed that they couldn't probably shake hands with the visiting US Secretary of State.
I have with me a small group of students who are from Great Lakes Institute of Management in Chennai, who were lucky to be part of Clinton's address here. How was it to be part of her program in Chennai?
It was great, and the way she talks and everything, it was great. She was sending a really positive signal for India.
Right. What's that one thing you found interesting in her speech?
It's the vision that America is looking at towards India and the Central Asia. It's the thing which is cooperation, which is she was talking about India, Pakistan and Afghanistan, like the Silk Route.
I was expecting her to talk something about the academic student interaction, but it's fine. It was great hearing.
Okay.
About the entire East Indian interaction she spoke about and the vision she took about the East India.
She began with the traditional Tamil Vanakkam.
Yes. Adu amakalamanadu. Vanakkam, most important thing, and she ended with a Nandri also. So that is amazing, but the point is, Yale University, where she graduated, is collaborating with Great Lakes Institute of Management.
Right.
And this Yale is the person who made the money from Chennai.
Okay.
So this is a payback time by her. Thank you.
Well, we really loved the way she spoke about Silk Route and how the onus is on entrepreneurs and young Indians.
Have called for equal rights for those in Sri Lanka.
I I was more focused on listening towards what she was saying for the great relationship with the countries in South Asia.
Okay.
The stress, as she said, the stress was on the revival of Silk Route and the role India is going to play in South Asia.
Okay.
I love the line, entrepreneur from Chennai and her commodity is going to Kabul via Pakistan. I mean, the women empowerment that she was talking about, it was just
Right, right.
And the way she emphasized on the transaction of education, not only Indian students going to America, but US students are also coming to India to study and to be a part of our education system. That's very important.
Right. Hillary also struck the right chord by beginning the speech in the traditional Tamil Vanakkam, and she ended by saying Nandri in Tamil, thank you in Tamil. Certainly she has struck the right chord with Chennai. In Chennai with camera person Edwin, Sam Daniel, Find TV.
All right, sir. In fact, talking of exchange programs, I think Loyola College had this many years ago with Cornell University, Dhaka College.
Right.
I remember undergoing a creative writing course in Loyola College thanks to this exchange program. When I was a student there and you were my professor. But if it was Hillary Clinton's first visit to Chennai, well, there was a first for Chennaites too. Like the security that was in place for her, Chennaites felt it but did not quite see it. Our crime correspondent Salim brings you more on the visit, where our khaki cops rub shoulders with the men in black.
A couple of minutes only and Hillary Clinton drove into the sprawling Anna Centenary Library. No traffic snarls, no diversions. And for once, Chennaites could not complain that a politician's visit was affecting their daily life. But that is only an invisibility cloak, like the ones you saw in Harry Potter movies. But behind the scenes, a lot went on. The watchful eyes of men in black, sniffer dogs flown in specially from the USA to vet the venues, outer security men who would put to shame the bar bouncers you may have seen in Hollywood flicks, and our own khaki police on rooftops. And if you're asking yourself if our own security system is not good enough for a top American politician, well, listen in.
I found the security actually rather tight compared to what I'm used to, even for high officials in the United States. I don't remember a similar level of security when I went to hear President Clinton speak when he was president, for instance.
Security was really tight and it was well organized.
But the winner in all this? Chennaites, of course. While the top cops were kept on their toes, there were hardly any traffic snarls, while Hillary's jam sessions with the Chief Minister and City went on. In Chennai, with correspondent Salim, Kuku Alex for NDTV Hindu.
Interesting there, Mr. Narayanan. In fact, I was passing by that stretch also. Of course, she went a little late. Instead of 1:30, I think she landed there a little past 2 o'clock. One actually expect, I was telling my driver, should we take another route because, traffic may be held up. Probably these are, this is to be welcome. These are good times where, in fact, even the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister has asked the traffic police not to stop traffic when her convoy passes by. The same treatment given also for Hillary Clinton's convoy?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I live in Kalakshetra Road.
You had no problem
I
there.
didn't even know that she came and left. That's the kind of, in the past, they make a big fuss about the whole thing and the whole thing. I think the security was not seen, but I'm sure it was there. And I think this is the way we all can learn.
Unobtrusive security, the electronic eye and all that.
Yeah, so it was very good.
So many years ago, I remember when I used to cover sports as well, when Australian spinner Shane Warne came, he brought baked beans from Australia. That became quite a controversy then. And I remember many of us journalists going and getting sound bites from nutritionists who said that Indian baked beans are no less than the Australian baked beans. Do you think it's a bit over the top that you actually, you can bring your Secret Service people or your security personnel, the men in black from there, but also sniffer dogs all the way to Chennai? Aren't our police capable of handling that?
I think these are all part of the security.
The amount of money that would have been spent for all this.
Yeah, but I think in the increased atmosphere of terrorism and other things, definitely
They
have set a standard
operating procedure for every country, and they're trained and they know the routine much better than we do. I think, as a matter of fact,
that you had that the American officer actually complimenting the Indian police, saying that it was very tight security here.
Yeah. So I think, see, it's one thing you can look at the expense. The other thing is, what if this happens? What kind of expense you're going to have?
Absolutely.
So it's better to be safe than sorry.
Final comments from the experts here, starting with you, sir. Since you say it's substance, what is the one big takeaway from this visit, apart from, of course, the photo ops that those artists had at Kalakshetra?
I think, Sanjay, definitely I would say that the strategic dialogue initiated last year, it has been really strengthened, reiterated, strengthened, regenerated, and definitely we are going ahead. And as an academic, I really look forward for the October 13th higher education summit. This is going to take place in United States. I think more American students are going to come here, and it is a well known fact that more Indian students are going to America. So it is going to be reverse, and we are going to see more of such things. The climate research center is now in operation. So we are going to predict hereafter tsunami and other things more clearly and then accurately. So these are the things where we stand to benefit. India is stand to benefit.
All right. In fact, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, when there was an applause, she also said that, well, apart from the applause, I need your support. So hopefully by the 13th of October, yeah, that she will also put her policies where her vanakams are. Final comments from you. You say it's a hype.
Well, it's a style, lot of style in there. But when Gandhi walked his Dundee march, a lot of people thought it's only style. But that changed India. So could when leaders.
So when she climbed up the stairs at the secretariat.
When leaders come, and style is as important as substance, because I think style, the body language sends message loud and clear. Her body language, its style, showed that she cared for India. India is very important partner to the United States, not only now but for the years to come. And that's the style, and that's the message, that's the body language, and I think that's good for her and good for India.
You've been converted on this panel. That you've taken a diametrically opposite stand now. You've been converted by the professor.
Might be so, but I still think style is as important as substance.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Narayanan, for joining us. Thank you very much, Dr. Bernardi Sami, for joining us in our studio. But in fact, we want to leave you with interesting snapshots, the moments, the special moments and the highlights of Hillary Clinton's visit to Chennai. Take a look.
Vanakan, I'm delighted to be here today.